Here with junior Ajane Durant and head coach Krista Kilburn-Staveski. We'll start with an opening statement from coach.
Just no argument. It's very frustrating that we didn't come out on the winning end here tonight. We've got to give Towson credit on the boards, but we had every chance that we could have gotten this thing and separated ourselves, and we didn't do it.
Questions?
Coach, 4 of 23 from three-point range. Is there anything that you think your team could have done better, or was it just really good Towson perimeter defense?
No, we talked about it from the first half that we were shooting those too fast, and we're giving them transition offense. I mean, they're like not historically, even though they're athletic and they're fast, they not an overly transition team. It's usually kind of methodical, a good bit of half court. They make you play ugly. But we handed them a lot. We handed them in turnovers and then those long threes, those quick threes. So we talked about it. We tried to clean it up. Myself, Coach Khan, they said, hey, you're going to get that look again. Don't take it, one pass three. So. And then obviously, late game, a couple of those late. But if you look at Liv, 3 for 9, it was just unfortunate Crystal went 0 for 6 after coming off such a great game. I mean, sometimes you live and die in that situation.
Ashane just coming off of that first half, being able to get so close in that second half. What was different in your perspective of your team coming out in the second half?
We just tried to play with more intensity. We knew we were down on rebounding side, so we didn't win the rebound to be overall, but we just try to play with more intensity, try to get stops.
You two you both had a nice, it was kind of ruined by the loss, but a nice moment pregame with that center court. Just thoughts on that, and Nay or Coach, just what it meant.
Well, I'll talk about her because she's not a kid that ever talks about herself. I mean, to have done this early in her junior year, I think I've only had obviously one other player that early in my tenure with that, and does it so humbly, and I just say my fault tonight. She needed to have the ball more, because she's this kind of player that can take the game over, and but just proud of her. It's tainted. I know she won't feel that tonight because we didn't get the win, but it's definitely well deserved.
And just one more thing, you mentioned Crystal having the triple-double coming off a phenomenal game, and then she struggled tonight. We've seen it happen before where that happens. Is there anything that you see in her game where it just happens, or is it just maybe
No, I mean, she's played physical games, so I mean, you can knock that. Yes, she was getting fouled. I think she let that get in her head a little bit early. She's been maturing in that aspect, but tonight, for some reason, it got with her a little bit. She finally got the calls in the second half. But, there's been many games, and I said it even when she had a triple-double, that she maybe hadn't had the best offensive night, but she ran a good floor game. But it was just one of those days tonight. I had a tough floor game, as well as a tough shooting night. So we'll bounce back. We have to. Our whole point is trying to get ready for the tournament. This wasn't ideal. This wasn't in our game plan. It's frustrating, but we have to figure it out. And I've been talking about their character, what they're made of now. It's really going to be tested. That we have 2 tough opponents left here, and we got to take the next one here at home and figure out a way to win, period,
I think just the last question for me is just saying, you say in the back of your mind the tournament's coming up right around the corner. What is the mentality then going into these last couple of games, especially this last game here at home?
Well, I mean, our mentality was good. We had a great week of practice. That's why I felt bad for us, and not shooting the ball overly well and very stagnant because I have to say, I said it today before the game. I said it in the practice this week. The energy has been great. They've been shooting the ball. We were tracking all our shots in practice. They were shooting the ball very well. So, sometimes you scratch your head. But, they knew what was in face with them. So, this was one of our first roadblocks. And so, they know what we have to do to be able to finish out strong. So, now we have to do it. So, it's not science right now. We wanted to go 3-0. Now we're going to have to go 2-1.
Coach, your team was down by, I believe, 5 or 6 points at halftime. You end up outscoring Towson by 6 in the third quarter. Game was tied heading into the fourth. Can you just talk about that third quarter? Is there anything you could take positively, maybe move that third quarter into the next game, something like that?
Well, we shot 50%, and we talked of the media timeout. I said we were going to win the quarter. We had a chance. We had an interesting wide open layup between Marion and Ariana. They got thrown out of bounds. Then we turned around and Crystal got fouled, and we ended up 41-41. So our goal at that timeout, at the 4:30 mark, was you're going to go ahead. You're down by 8. You're going to go ahead. So we set goals every time we had a media timeout or a regular timeout, and they accomplished it. I said it was a grind. We should have been at 43-41 right there. And every timeout, even after that, and they probably can attest to this, I kept saying, okay, so what? This is tough. It is tough. I'm sorry, it's tough. It's one of those nights. you know, and I think that toughness monitor, you know, it's, you know, some of us didn't push through that. You know, it was tough, it was ugly, it was grimy, and I said that every time out. So what, it's tough, you can still win it. So what, it's not pretty, you can still win it. You know, you can say whatever you want, these guys it's gotta resonate through them, and I know Nate was trying, and, I mean, maybe you can piggyback off that, I don't know if you got something. Insightful. I mean, that's what we do, each time out, we're trying to motivate, and, you know, and it was a fight, and then when we had the silly turnovers, we're giving them easy buckets. You know, all the way, and we had 3 really ridiculous turnovers in the fourth quarter, and they gave them layups while we're trying to grind it down the other end. So, you know, it's not rocket science. You can you know, it's just sometimes when people are in it, they make it bigger than it needs to be. They can just break the game down a little bit simpler. You know, we'll be sitting here with a win today. So,
Anything else? Thank you.
thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.